ChromaQA's advanced data capture and analysis enables commercial printers to analyze and find unacceptable color, density, and dot gain variations, and to receive immediate intuitive feedback on how well a press run is performing on a single press, multiple presses, multiple print facilities. As you're capturing the data, it allows you to analyze and display the data in a number of different ways. So, for instance, instead of looking at specific color density or dot gain, I can set up a score system that basically grades the performance of how well this job is performing. I can measure my density solids, get my delta E, and look at my dot gain. I can also edit what data do I want to have displayed. Do I want to look at my 50% tints, my 75 and 25 overprints and gray balance? What data do I really want to capture? The intuitive visual display of the intolerance conditions and the bars that exhibit, what's in or out of tolerance, obviously anything above the green is out of tolerance, gives the user a very, very quick feedback on how well this press run is performing or on what needed changes need to be made. So I'll go back down and just say, I just want to look at my solids right now. So I can see my delta E. And if I want to go in and say, my color's out, my density is low, so I know I have to increase density. I can see by my scoring system it's red, or it's almost red, so it's not good. Over here next to the reference and measured color bar, it's showing red dots all down the whole color bar, so I know I'm out. So what do I do? Well, what I do is I go in and I say, I need to figure out, is this have to do with ink, or is there some other factor mechanically that I need to consider? So I'm going to just switch to our alternative mode of viewing the measured results. And I can see very clearly on screen that it's showing that the reference color, what I want to match, is very different from my measured color. So that's my visual reference. Then it's showing me that, here's what the actual data is, your LAB values, your density values, what the deltas, the differences are. And it's saying, you have a delta E of 11.33. Your density is 74 points off. You might want to try adjusting your density by 26 points. We know that from this current point, I can get it saying at 11.33 delta E difference in color, adjust by increasing 26 points of density, and we'll at least reduce you to a 6.70. So I can go through on each color, and it will show me whether I'm in or out. And not only does it give me a suggested density change to improve color and quantifies by how much better it can get, it's also indicating, it's slightly light, significantly blue, and you're yellow. And your magenta, you're definitely significantly green, and you're still light. So all in all, it's saying increase your density, and that's going to take care of a large part of it. But you're also, you have some color shifts here that may not be able to be resolved with density. So you go through, you start making these changes, and as you make these changes, you add extender to the buckets of ink, or you adjust the density up or down, viscosity. You see improvement. You can see that your deltas are going down, and you can see that visually they're going down, and it's saying, it's moderately yellow, slightly red, slightly light. And as you go on and make these adjustments, it comes out and it says, you're a match, and you're 0.32 delta E's. So basically now I've hit where I want to be. I'm printing, and now I can monitor and periodically measure. If you have our inline device, you can actually measure on the press itself during production. Now I want to see, and I've only taken 6 measurements, we'll say 6 polls or 6 impressions, and I can clearly see, as of making adjustments on my PG 1610 spot color, that my density is increasingly better. The green denotes an tolerance situation. And I can obviously see that my delta E's have gotten way within tolerance, extremely good. as the press run is progressing. And I can look at each of the colors and see how they're performing. And they're pretty much staying in keeping with what I'm seeing with all my solids. I can also look and say, well, how's my dot gain? Do I have excessive dot gain? I can go in and say, okay, I can see my dot gain is increasing. I can double click over it and say, okay, well, it's 21.68%, but I only have a delta E of 1.18, so I'm happy with that. If I had a much higher color difference, then I might start looking at dot gain as being the issue and take corrective measures. And it gives you a delta E as well as dot gain at all your different tint values. Many folks these days are actually checking the 50% so they can get a better idea over the full tonal range of what they're printing, of how well their colors are matching, not just at the solid 100%, but also at the 50%. So I've gone through and I can trend each color, look at the dot gains. More importantly, what I want to do, not more importantly, in addition to this now, I want to be able to grab this data and consolidate it into a report. If a customer is asking for a report, how well did my press run do? If you want to internally do an analysis on how well the press run is going, or between different presses, what have you, you can capture this data and you can capture it in a report. You can specify, okay, if right here I have 6 polls or 6 scans of impressions I've done, and it's showing all the customer data, the measurement environment, and the colors measured, and it's giving an overall analysis. But what if during make ready, the first 3 scans were done during make ready, and I only want to look at really production. I can go and say, well, let's just look at scans 4 through 6, and all of a sudden, boom, you'll see the overall analysis goes from a red circle with an X to a check mark. And it dynamically updates this report when you change what measurements you want to look at. If I go to 6 to 6, that's even better, and also dynamically updates the more specific reporting done on density, dot gain, colorimetric, which displays what colors, what the target values were, the measured, the analysis, the delta E, the pass-fail, and then also your scorecard, gray balance, and trapping. And then I can not only print this out or save this to PDF, I can save all the data of each one of those measurements, scan measurements, to a spreadsheet just by saving details. And I can even specify, well, all I really want to see are the LAB or color values and my delta E, or just density and my analysis. I can choose exactly what data I actually want to export to that spreadsheet. So you can customize it very specifically to your customers or your internal needs.